Tonight on WTOP 10 Nightly News, the new alert from Oswego Police, what you can do to protect your car.
Governor Hochul's poll numbers are in, what voters are saying about her performance so far.
And the deal Elon Musk just struck with the social media giant Twitter.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Thomas Caffarella.
And I'm Grace Parenti.
Elon Musk has struck a deal to buy the social media network Twitter, taking the company private. The deal, which was announced earlier today, will cost Musk about $44 billion. It will put the world's richest man in charge of one of the most influential social media platforms.
The deal has been unanimously approved by Twitter's board and is expected to close this year. This news comes just over a week after the billionaire shocked the industry by offering to buy the platform. Musk says in a tweet that he hopes his biggest critics stay on the platform to help bolster free speech.
The Oswego Police Department is asking for residents to be vigilant when it comes to car theft. There has been multiple reports of stolen vehicles throughout the last week in the city of Oswego. Things you can do to help keep you and your car safe include parking in lit up areas, always shutting your car off when it's unattended, and never leaving valuables in plain sight. Over 700,000 people fall victim to car theft every year.
In a statement on Facebook, Oswego Mayor Billy Barlow put part of the blame for the recent vehicle thefts on New York's bail law. The law eliminates cash bail in New York State and keeps people out of jail as they wait for their day in court. According to a new Siena poll, 38% of voters say the amended bail law will have no effect on crime rates, while 32% believe it will decrease crime rates.
The newly formed Oswego Drug Task Force made its first arrest this weekend. Tim Tompkins and Stephanie Colony are facing 2 counts of criminal possession in the 3rd degree. Mayor Barlow made an announcement earlier this year allowing the creation of a task force. This separated the city's efforts to crack down on illegal drugs from pre-existing task force run by Oswego County. Barlow says the move was long overdue because of the rising heroin and cocaine that has made its way into the Oswego community.
A 1-year-old girl from Oswego County passed away on Friday after her mother lost control of their SUV, slamming into multiple trees in Constantina. According to the state police, the single vehicle accident happened on State Route 49 near Adrian Circle. The baby was secured in a child seat when her mother hit an embankment, causing the vehicle to go airborne. The driver was not injured in the crash, and state police say there was no signs of alcohol impairment.
The CDC has classified Oswego as a high risk for contracting COVID-19. Throughout New York, COVID levels have begun to rise, and many counties have been turning from a low risk to a medium risk of COVID-19. The transmission of COVID has been rapid. Just 2 weeks ago, only 13 counties were considered high risk. Now, 23 counties. The CDC urges Oswego County to wear masks in indoor public areas and get tested if you have symptoms.
Even with mixed reviews, Governor Kathy Hochul remains on top of a new primary poll. Siena polling reports Hochul is nearly 40 points ahead of her nearest competitor. But over 60% of New Yorkers aren't happy with her. Their biggest concerns: how does she handle the economy, plus bail reform and crime? Voters are supportive of her actions on the to-go cocktails, suspending the state's gas tax, and fast-tracking casino licenses. Governor Hochul is up for re-election this November.
And Hochul won't be the only one running for governor this fall. Howie Hawkins is starting his 4th attempt at running for New York State governor. Hawkins will be running under the Green Party for the 4th time since 2010. But this year will be his toughest run yet, thanks to a new ballot law that requires a minimum of 45,000 petitions to make it onto the voting ballot, which are needed by May 31st. Hawkins has run for 25 public office positions.
One FDNY firefighter has died and several others were injured in a residential fire in Brooklyn Sunday afternoon. More than 100 firefighters responded to a 3-alarm fire. The New York City Mayor Eric Adams spoke last night, praising their work and remembering the firefighter that lost their lives fighting the flames.
It gives us great pain and sorrow to announce that New York City has lost one of its bravest, Timothy Klein, a 6.5 years as a firefighter.
Not be the only fatality. Police report that a 21-year-old male who lived in the house is unaccounted for. The fire department of New York has not yet released the names and conditions of the others injured fighting the blaze.
A New York judge is holding former President Donald Trump in civil contempt. It comes after the state's attorney general office said Trump did not comply with a subpoena for documents. The judge said Monday he's fining Trump $10,000 a day until he complies. A Trump attorney said Trump simply does not have the types of written communications being sought, but has produced hundreds of thousands of documents through his assistants. And coming up later tonight, what Russia is doing to stop Ukrainians from leaving the country.
And the fight continues as Biden administration tries to end a Trump-era border policy. What's getting in their way?
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm 10 meteorologist Nicholas Casano.
Nick, is this warm weather going to last?
Thank you, guys. So this is what you're going to be expecting. So sadly, no, the warm weather is not going to last. Tonight, you're going to be possible thunderstorms, which you might be finding out now if you look outside. Winter returns Wednesday, but don't worry, not actual winter. It's going to be light snow, but it's still snow. But luckily for us, sun's going to return later this week. It's going to be warmer next week, but you'll hear more about that right after the break.
Athletics, Aaron, there are 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union Building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Good evening. I'm WTOP 10 meteorologist Nicholas Casano. Now, as I said earlier, that there's going to be a thunderstorm coming through. Now, if you look over here, we have the satellite image. You can see that all this cloud cover is coming in through the west. This whole beautiful, in my opinion, thing that's coming through, that's going to be bringing us some rain tonight. So if you go on to the next one, and you're going to see the radar. Now, if you're if you live in Rochester or a little bit east to it, you probably are experiencing this now, and maybe Oswego are experiencing it now. But this is a huge thunderstorm supercell. It's going to be causing thunder, lightning, rain, but it's only going to be probably for a brief time. Hopefully this ends in like the early AMs. My guess, probably 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Next up, we are going to talk about the weather, but the history of the weather. Now, exactly 13 years ago in 2009, which seems like a while ago, but it wasn't, the high was 88 degrees. Now, if you know today, the high was 78 degrees. Which is, it's a 10 degrees difference. It's kind of crazy just seeing how warm trends just continue over the years. Now let's go on to tonight's forecast. As I said before, there's possible thunderstorms. The low will be 47 degrees, and the winds are going to be 10 to 18 miles south. tomorrow, you should be expecting that there's going to be mostly cloudy. Luckily no rain, no snow yet, but it's going to be 51 degrees high, which is, it's going to be less than today, But it's nice. It's going to be cloudy. The wind's going to be 8 to 13 miles from the west. And you know what? It's going to be a nice day to go outside and do some fun activities. Now, this little slide, if you don't know me, I'm a big music lover, so we're going to talk about Wednesday. So, as you can see, from 8 a.m., it's going to be 35 degrees, 36, kind of going to stay throughout the whole day until 10 p.m. when it goes on to 32. But you can see the cloud coverage from 10 to 100%, 100, 100, 100, 100 until the end, where it gets to the 82%. There's going to be snow, most likely in the evening, around 5 p.m. But also, winter falls, it's actually a song. But yeah, no, so it's not really winter that's coming, it's just a little bit of snow. Now, if we go on for the 7-day forecast, Tuesday, I said before, it's just going to be cloudy, nice sunny, 51 high, 35 low. Wednesday, it's actually going to be snowing, my bad on that part. 43 degrees high, 33 degrees low. Thursday, it's going to be breezy, partly sunny, cloudy, 46 highs, 35 lows. Friday, breezy again, sunny. Saturday, Sunday, it's all going to be in the 50s. And then Monday, we're bringing back to the 62. Nice warm, but it's going to be raining. Now, let's go to the desk with more news.
Thank you very much, Nick. U.S. officials have returned after visiting Kyiv, Ukraine this weekend. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with the Ukrainian president. They announced that U.S. diplomats will return to the country and promise additional military aid.
In response to the U.S. visit, Russian forces continuing their attacks in eastern regions of Ukraine. Now, a vital escape route for citizens is under attack after 5 railway stations were hit by Russian airstrikes. Gloria Pazmino has more.
Russian forces are aiming at one of the few ways out of war-torn Ukraine. The state railway company said 5 train stations were struck in central and western Ukraine Monday, resulting in casualties. The railway attack comes just a day after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin made an unannounced visit to the region.
We believe that they can win if they have the right equipment, the right support.
They are the highest level U.S. officials to visit Ukraine since the invasion began. Blinken said other U.S. diplomats will return later this week and praised Ukraine for standing strong against attacks in some parts of the country.
Russia continues to try to brutalize parts of the country, and the death and destruction that we continue to see is horrific. But Ukrainians are standing up. They're standing strong.
Meanwhile, there seems to be no reprieve for the besieged city of Mariupol, where a steel plant continues to be a significant holdout site for Ukrainian forces and civilians taking shelter. Video released by the Azov Regiment this Sunday reportedly shows women and children in a bunker at the steel plant.
On behalf of all the people of Mariupol, I urge the world, help us. We want to live.
I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
According to the chairman of Ukraine's state railway company, Russia's attacks are all part of a campaign to systematically destroy Ukrainian railway infrastructure.
A new poll shows President Joe Biden is losing his popularity with younger Americans. The Harvard poll shows that the support for the president in Americans aged 18 to 29 is at 41%, a 5% drop since the fall. Many cited their disapproval because of the minimal efforts to cancel college debt. How does Biden stand up to other former presidents? At the same time, during the Trump presidency, he only boasted a 25% approval rating, and Obama had a 56% approval rating.
A federal judge in Louisiana temporarily blocked the Biden administration from ending a Trump-era pandemic restriction on the U.S.-Mexico border. Title 42 expels migrants from the U.S. border to avoid the spread of COVID-19. The Biden administration planned to end Title 42 on May 23rd, but a new date is uncertain. More than 20 states have asked the court to block the administration from ending Title 42 so far.
A, quote, miscommunication will likely lead to the reselection of jury members for the case of the Parkland shooter Nicholas Cruz. 11 possible jurors were expected to be in court today, but because of the lack of Judge Scher's follow-up questions after a few said they would not follow the law, will likely lead to all of the jurors being dismissed.
Urgent and grim, those are the words Chinese officials are using to describe COVID-19's grip in parts of the country. An extended lockdown in Shanghai hasn't stopped the spread there, and lockdowns could be coming to Beijing. John Lorenk reports.
China is attempting to tamp down a coronavirus outbreak. This week, Chaoyang, one of the largest districts in Beijing, is set to launch 3 rounds of mass testing for about 3.5 million people.
What the regime cares most about is cashing out its promises, in this case, maintaining a very low case count.
Meanwhile, in lockdown Shanghai, people who test positive are taken to government quarantine facilities.
There's nowhere for them to send me. All right? I'm not allowed to go in the hospital, and I have to stay here.
Josh Vaughn, an American living in China, was taken to a pop-up tent near a Shanghai hospital earlier this month.
This is where I'm sleeping tonight.
The lockdowns and quarantines in Shanghai have sparked anger among many. Some expats have vented in chat rooms, one comment saying, "China used to really have it all. It's just not the expat-friendly place it used to be."
Because most of us have never experienced this kind of draconian lockdown, it's easy to support if you haven't experienced it. And if more of China experiences this in the coming months with rolling lockdowns across different cities, I expect the currently very high support for zero COVID to drop.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
As China attempts to deal with this outbreak, a White House official says the Biden administration will renew its push for Congress to secure COVID-19 funding this week.
And still to come on WTOP, the frustration for parents continues. The uncertain future for children 5 and under to get their vaccine.
And the FDA's new recall warning, what you should be looking for in your kitchen.
Only on WTOP.
DeCarlo on the rebound! Alex DeCarlo!
Yeah, it's been a wild game so far. A lot of high scoring, so definitely tighten it up and play out that full 60 minutes.
Welcome back to the best show on WTOP 10. Out on our own Oswego.
Did you hear that Bad Bunny's going to be in Canada over spring break? You know?
I heard that one.
Drink cognac. The week.
Oh my God. Roll it.
The Candlelight Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Here's your health update. The Biden administration is working to make Pfizer's antiviral COVID-19 pill more widely available. The White House is set to announce new details Monday on Paxlovid, which the FDA authorized in December. According to tweets over the weekend by the White House COVID-19 response coordinator, the administration is working on establishing more places where Paxlovid will be available. That includes more test-to-treat sites. That's where people can get more free COVID testing if they test positive, and they can be prescribed free antiviral meds on the spot.
Tracking progress made in the COVID-19 pandemic is becoming a challenge as states scale back on reporting COVID-19 data. Experts work less frequently reporting could stall efforts to delay outbreaks. 1 year ago, all 50 states were reporting new cases daily. Now half of states report only once a week. Florida is down to every 2 weeks. And just this month, the U.S. Department of Health and Humane Services extends the public health emergency declaration for another 3 months.
About 18 million U.S. children are still not eligible to get the protection of a COVID-19 vaccine. But a key step forward towards the vaccine authorization for kids under 5 could happen soon. Mandy Gaither has more on the timeline in today's Health Minute.
Only one age group remains. Kids under 5 still can't get the COVID-19 vaccine, and many parents have been waiting for it.
I totally understand they're frustrated. I am frustrated on their behalf.
In February, the FDA said more data from clinical trials was needed to move forward on an emergency use authorization for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for younger children. Now we're learning another vaccine maker could soon seek sign-off for that age group.
We expect Moderna to do that this week. And then the FDA scientists are going to do what they have done throughout the whole pandemic, right? Which is they're going to evaluate the data. They are going to assess it for safety and effectiveness, and they're going to make a determination of when it meets their standards.
The White House COVID-19 response coordinator says it's unclear how long the authorization process will take, but expects kids under 5 to be eligible to get the vaccine in the next couple of months.
I have no expectations that there are going to be any major hiccups, that this should move quickly.
This comes as COVID-19 cases are trending up across most of the U.S. Deaths remain low, but hospitalizations are up about 9% from last week.
Cases are still important. Infections are still important. We want to keep those infection numbers low. But they mean something different now than they did a year ago, right? They mean something different because people are vaccinated and boosted.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And tonight we have a recall alert, the food in your kitchen that needs to be thrown out. The FDA is reporting a recall because of a potential listeria contamination. The recalled products are 1-pound packages of Hippie Organics fresh beans. Listeria can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections. The beans are in a clear plastic package marked with a lot of numbers 313-626 on the back. No illnesses linked to the beans have been reported. The company says it's taking corrective action to prevent this from happening again. Customers can return the product for a full refund.
And coming up in sports, it's Alex Brooks.
Alex, can you give us a quick preview?
Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Thomas. We'll take a look at how the Lakers fared on the diamond. The Mets of Syracuse made strides in their homestand, and more NBA playoff action coming up after the break.
The Kind of Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
Look at that, it's so sad.
Here's our weather outlooks and our social media on Saturday. And that's all.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Alex Brooks with your Monday Sports Report, and let's get right to it. We start off on the diamond as the Oswego State Lakers softball team played a doubleheader this afternoon at home against their conference rival Plattsburgh. Oswego came into this matchup sitting in 7th place and looking to gain some momentum in the SUNYAC. The Lakers fell 6-2 in the first game, but were able to bounce back in the second after a masterful performance by Fiona Higgins, going 6 full innings, allowing no runs on only 2 hits. She also did the work with the bat, going 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and an 8-0 victory to split the series. Let's switch to the men's side of the plate as they had their own doubleheader against the Golden Eagles of Brockport yesterday afternoon. Kieran Finnegan took care of business against the Eagles, pitching a full 7 innings of no-run baseball, racking up 5 strikeouts and only allowing 3 hits. The Lakers would win by a score of 2-0, but would fall short the next game in an offensive showdown that saw 24 runs come to score between both teams. Traveling 45 minutes southeast of Oswego, we're in the Salt City where the Worcester Red Sox faced off against the Syracuse Mets. The Mets AAA team needed to brush off getting swept by the Columbus Clippers 2 weeks ago. And as they did, they're taking 5 of 6 from the Woo Sox following a 4-2 victory Sunday afternoon. Nick Plummer came up clutch for the Mets, hitting a 3-run shot in the bottom 8th inning that would help solidify the victory for Syracuse. Now let's go to the more NBA playoff action as the Warriors and Nuggets face off. We're going to late first quarter, game tied at 17. Nikola Jokic from Bones Highland shoots a 3 and he banks it, and the Nuggets are up 3. We fast forward to where the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen, as Stephen Curry in a tight back-forth game, he steps back, and that is money from 3 as the Warriors have the lead up 3. The Nuggets were able to tie it back up, less than 40 seconds to go. Monte Morris comes with a clutch floater with 33.5 seconds to play. As you see there, Morris goes to the left and he jukes and jives through the defense to get the clutch pulling. It's Monte Morris again. The Nuggets are up 2. He's going to give it to Jokic and he fakes out the defense. It goes to Will Barton and he nails it in the coffin for the Nuggets as the Denver Nuggets survive another day, winning Game 4 and will travel to Golden State for Game 5 on Wednesday night.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, everybody, that is our show for tonight. Please be sure to stay tuned for the Son of Saul Show.
Thank you for watching and have a great night, everyone.
And I'm Donna. And this is the Son of Saul Show. Grab your low-rise jeans because we're taking it back to the 2000s. Let's go, girls. Uggs and low-rise jeans. Together. One of the boys. Boy.
Sorry, it's my agent. He told me that you're canceled.
Shebangy, shebangy, shebangy.
Welcome to the burial ground. The most must-see talk show in all of sports entertainment.
Welcome back to the Count Lake Show, where we talk about anything and everything going on in our lives and yours.
Well, my birthday was November 13th, so it's been quite some time.
I think at the end we saw him get up.
I did that.
It's a winner, and I did bring you sweater for everyone.
There you go! I know your dreams. You started the paper throwing, just the immaturity. You lost before you even argued.
Pretty insane that the Clippers, 10 of the last 11 postseasons, they're in there.